Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from KeyboardImprov.com, and welcome to day 2 of my 31-day Jazz Piano for Beginners workout challenge. And we're going for fluency in a fun way and just diving in the spirit of the jazz tradition, not just opening some book for the first time and okay, I kind of know what a D minor chord is, but what are the 3rd and the 7th? And it's just too dry at the beginning. That's how you get from the late beginner to the intermediate level or early intermediate to advanced. You take things apart and you analyze it in that detail, but that's not a good starting point, as are not A and B rootless voicings. They are not a good starting point. If you take anything else from these 31 days, do not start with rootless A and B voicings because they're not the base level. It's much better. You'll get much better. You'll get much more fluent by going with 7th chords, which we're going to cover here. And then, yes, at some point, you climb that mountain straight up, that learning curve straight up by drilling and woodshedding those A and B voicings and other voicings. But at first, it's much better to get started with just the 7th chords, and they sound great. 7th chords, left hand. It sounds wonderful. So we're going to get into that probably tomorrow with 7 chords. Today we're going to continue what we did with one note in our lesson from Sidney Bechet, the great New Orleans saxophonist who taught Bob Wilbur. The first lesson was we're going to play one note 50 different ways. And we saw how it really gets us started in a fun way, but also I found myself playing better after doing that for 5-10 minutes. So we're going to continue with that today right away. So we're just going to play one note to start with our right hand, a C. It could be middle C. I'm an octave above. It could be way up there. So I'm going to keep this is like a real life play along right here, not computer generated. So I found that I used to play Calypsos less than the way I would like to play them. Because I heard Sonny Rollins and all these people just playing like these great bebop licks over them, and I just couldn't do it at the time. Now I can. I can do it now, but what got me past that was to go back to one note like we did. And just like a steel drum player, and then start doing some others. So we're going to start with one note. We're just going to start jamming together. 1, 2, here we go. Just play your own rhythms. Just get so interested. You're a drummer. And we found out yesterday, and I just experienced it again, I hope you did too, that when we, limit ourselves to just one note at times, we get more interested in it and our playing gets better. We listen, we establish a connection between our ear and that note and our finger, and it becomes interesting. Do I play a long note? Or short notes? Or lots? Or just a few? Do I repeat rhythms? Or different ones? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go first. My turn. that in the future when we're flying all over the keys. But right now, it's about getting a fun start. And this is the approach too. You know, usually we're learning something new, and it's, you know, it's a little challenging, right? Like this voicing or this lick or something like that. And then we can't quite do it fluently, but we're practicing it. And then when we actually play, instead of just sort of forgetting about that and just playing, we try to put it in there and it's not quite working, and we're not really playing from a sense of fluency. And it's important, this concept of what I call minimum viable piano. You play the minimum you need to use at that time to start with what will work. And yes, one note totally satisfies the criteria for grooving. Something interesting on a Calypso like this, right? That's what we can do right now with 100% control and creativity. Then we'll expand from there. We do about 70% of that jamming, and then 20-30% of really diligent practicing instead of the other way around. So let's do that again on a ballad, okay? I'm going to go first, and then you can try something. And this is really listening to it and letting it sort of just linger, I think, in a ballad like this. 1, 2, I'll go first. But it's going to get us so much farther than when we try to do too much and don't do it well. And your turn. Is that you notice that C sounds different in relation to different chords. And then I ended on the flat 2 chord. And then I resolved to the 1 where it sounds like the tonic. So that becomes fascinating too. Usually we don't realize how those notes, especially at the beginning stages, how those notes relate to the different harmonies. All right, let's revisit this, getting a really good sense of 2 and 4. So you can either snap on 2 and 4. I don't know if you ever saw Duke Ellington did a nice finger snapping routine. If I can find it, I'll link to it in the notes below. But he used to end some of his concerts when he was in his 60s and 70s with this whole thing where the band would kind of play, and he would get up to the mic and in his charming and dapper, suave way talk about finger snapping and coolness and hipness. It was very, very kind of tongue-in-cheek and fun. I'll see if I can find that. So anyway, so you can either snap, you can clap, you can tap, whatever you want while I play. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the idea is to internalize this so it becomes second nature. Not easy to do all the time. right now. Sounds better than most of the blues choruses being played right now all over the world. Kind of like Count Basie, right? Or Ellington sometimes. Yeah. Now we're going to go through some exercises on how to get used to playing while still feeling that 2 and 4, because it's really, really important. It'll help your jazz playing overall, the more you can feel this naturally. So with our right hand, we're going to play whole notes on a C, and we're just going to tap or snap on 2 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Play, tap. We can even say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Couple more. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Now let's do half notes. It's like clip, clop, clip, clop. Yeah. These are the kind of things drummers do. Even, you'd be surprised, even very advanced drummers do things like this, just to get into the groove that day, or just play slow quarter notes. It centers us, it gets us into the music very deeply. Now, let's play the whole notes, but we're going to go up the scale with fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go C, D, E, F, G, and then right back down without repeating the G, in whole notes while we snap on 2 and 4. 1, 2, C, and 1. Now D. Yeah. Now F. Yeah. Let's try it with our left hand. It's like the very beginnings of eventually playing a walking bass line. We'll do C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C as whole notes, and we'll snap or clap or tap with, well, I can't clap with one hand. Isn't that a koan? Is that koan? What is the sound of one hand clapping? What is the sound of one hand clapping in jazz? 1, 2, left hand play C. C, 2, 3, 4. D, E, F, G, back to F, now E, D, C. Yeah, you could make up so many exercises for yourself like this. You could do the Hannon exercises, right? You can do them as quarter notes. Maybe we'll do that in the future, but it'll be like, see, and you tap or snap on 2 and 4. Then you get a nice finger exercise in the left hand. You do it in the right hand. Okay? So you can make up your own exercises like this. That's really, really good and fun to do. Okay, so let's see. Oh, by the way, I set the timer for 20 minutes, so these things are manageable, but just enough time to get some practice in. Let's go to that one note again and improvise. And this time I'm going to play a blues like I was before and really just settle in. I used to think when Count Basie improvised, like when he soloed in a trio setting or quartet, you heard his piano solos a lot, that he didn't play, that he played sparsely. Now I think he played just the right amount of notes for him. You know, and it really sounds great to leave some space and just swing. What's wrong with letting the rhythm section play for 2 measures? Right? If you do that on a gig, the bass player is going to love you because they're going to be able to hear themselves, right? Get featured a little. But even hear it, as I said yesterday, in Miles Davis playing and Wayne Shorter, they're not afraid to just let the rhythm section play a little bit, right? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, by the way, if this is very easy for you, you could try snapping on 2 and 4 in the left hand as you improvise in the right. But if you can't do that, don't put the pressure on yourself to do it. That'll come later. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. By this point, you're probably like, I want to play a second note, right? So on a blues, a good second note would be the E flat, the flat third. We can improvise on the whole blues using that, just those 2 notes. And now, after playing C for 2 days like this, that's going to seem like a whole universe to have these 2 things. So don't feel you always have to use both. You could stay on the C for a whole chorus and then go to E flat or vice versa or whatever. And now you have a little wider with our limitations. So we still have a lot of options, but sometimes it feels like less because we feel like we got to do both or something. So it should be more possibilities here. 1, 2, a C or E flat. Try. 1, 2, 3, 4. myself doing some things that I never do, like just getting into the dynamics there. That's what it means by you limit yourself. You have more options because it calls forth more within that. So all of a sudden, I don't know what to do. I have somebody. It's sort of like if you had a piece of white paper and like 1,000 different crayons or colored pencils or something like that. And somebody said, draw anything you want. Some people could just sit down and draw, but most of us would wonder, what should I do? Oh, that's not a good idea. Oh, okay, I'll do this, and then, well, maybe I should have done that, and whatever. But if I said, okay, here's a piece of paper, and you have 3 crayons. You have green, brown, and red. And I want you to draw a house with 2 stories and 5 chimneys. All of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, I can make the chimneys red, and I can make the shutters green, and then I'll make the whole roof brown, but you know what? I'll make like a checkered pattern. Like all of a sudden, it calls forth our creative energies. That's what Stravinsky meant when he said the limitations give us more freedom in the moment. So we are on our way to using these, well, not just these 2 notes, but using the jazz vocabulary in a fun, inspiring way that will promote fluency. And then once we learn some chords and we dive into different keys, it'll really set you up to learning standards. So it's not this painful thing opening the real book and, oh my goodness, what do I play? I hear that all the time, you know, and I experienced it too. So 12-bar blues. We didn't really talk about what the blues is, but it's a 12-bar form. We'll get into that another time as well. So thanks for being here. There's some links you can click to subscribe to my channel if you want to get notifications about videos, the playlist for all these, and also just another video I thought you'd enjoy. And then below in the description, there's some free lessons at Keyboard Improv if you're interested in that. Have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.